Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Mr. F Listening Podcast, a place to improve your English and also grow your self-improvement journey. I'm F, your main host, and I'm very happy to be here with you today.
And I'm Funny. So happy to join you all today. Thank you for spending your time with us.
Today, we are going to talk about something very simple, but very powerful. The topic is, listening is the first key of learning English. But here is a question for you. Why do many people study English for months, even years, but still feel nervous when they hear real English?
Yes, they may know grammar. They may know many words. But when someone speaks English naturally, they suddenly feel lost.
So, what is missing? Maybe the first step was not speaking. Maybe the first step was not grammar. Maybe the first key was listening.
And in this episode, we will talk about why listening matters so much, why many learners ignore it, how listening helps in daily life, and how you can improve your English in a simple and natural way.
Before we start, please support this channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Mr. F Listening Podcast for more useful English learning content and self-improvement topics.
Yes, like and subscribe so you will not miss our next episodes.
All right, let's begin. Funny, let me ask you something. When a baby learns a first language, what do they do first? Do they study grammar?
No, of course not. A baby listens first. They listen to their parents, family, and people around them every day.
Exactly. They listen again and again. They hear sounds, tone, rhythm, simple words, and common sentences. And after a lot of listening, they begin to speak.
That is very natural. Listening comes before speaking. Input comes before output.
Yes, and I think many English learners forget this. They want to speak quickly, which is good, but they skip the listening part. So their mouth wants to speak, but their ears are still not ready.
That is true. Sometimes people say, I want to speak English fluently. But when you ask, how much English do you listen to every day? The answer is often, not much.
Yes, and that is very common. Many people spend time memorizing vocabulary lists. Some people do grammar exercises every day. But only a few people build a real listening habit. Listening is the first key because listening builds your English inside your mind. It helps your brain become familiar with the language. It teaches you how English sounds in real life.
And listening teaches many things at the same time. Not only words, not only pronunciation, but also sentence patterns, natural expressions, and how people really communicate.
Yes, when you listen often, you start to notice things like, how do people greet each other? How do they ask for help? How do they agree? How do they sound polite? How do they sound friendly?
And those things are very important in daily conversation, because real English is not only about correct grammar. It is also about feeling, tone, timing, and natural response.
Now, let's talk about a real problem. Why is listening difficult for many learners?
I think one reason is this. In school, many students learn English from books, not from real sound.
That's a big reason. They read English more than they hear English. So they know words on paper, but not in real speech.
For example, a learner may know the sentence, "What are you going to do?" They can understand it when they read it, but when a native or fluent speaker says it fast, it may sound like, "What you gonna do?"
Exactly. And then the learner thinks, wait, I know these words, so why can't I understand this sentence?
And the answer is simple, because listening is not only about vocabulary. It is also about connected speech, speed, stress, and rhythm.
Yes, English words often change a little when people speak naturally. Some sounds become softer. Some words join together. Some words are not said clearly one by one.
That is why learners need more listening exposure. The more you listen, the more familiar these patterns become. At first, it feels fast. Then it feels normal.
Another reason listening feels hard is fear. Sometimes learners get nervous very quickly.
Yes, they hear one unknown word and then they panic. Their mind says, "Oh no, I don't understand." And after that, they stop listening carefully.
That happens a lot. But in listening, you do not need to catch every single word. You need to catch the message.
That is very important. Let me say it again. You do not need to understand every word. You need to understand the main idea.
Exactly. In real life, even in our first language, we do not always catch every word, but we still understand the meaning.
Because communication is bigger than words. It also includes context, tone, situation, and common sense.
Let's make this more real. How does listening help in daily life?
In so many ways. Let's imagine a simple day.
Okay, you wake up in the morning and open your phone. Maybe you watch a short English video. Maybe you hear someone say, "Good morning, guys. Today we're going to talk about healthy habits."
That small moment matters. Your ears are getting used to English. Even if it is only 1 minute, your brain is learning.
Then maybe you listen to music while making breakfast, or maybe you listen to a simple podcast while cleaning your room.
Yes, and later maybe you watch a movie scene, or a YouTube video, or an English teacher explaining something.
All these moments are useful. Why? Because listening can become part of your real life. It does not always need a special classroom.
I like that. Listening can live inside your daily routine, while walking, while cooking, while waiting, while resting.
And this is powerful because consistency is more important than intensity. 10 minutes every day is often better than 2 hours only once a week.
Yes, small steps done every day can change your English slowly but deeply.
Also, listening helps in social situations. For example, imagine you meet someone new. If your listening is good, you can understand their question better. You can answer more naturally, and you feel more confident.
Right, like when someone asks, "How was your day?" Or, "What do you usually do on weekends?" Or, "Have you ever tried this food before?"
These are simple questions, but they happen in real life. If you listen well, you can join the conversation more easily.
And when you listen often, you also learn natural answers, not only textbook answers. You learn answers like, "It was pretty good. I was a bit tired, but I'm okay now. Usually I stay at home and relax."
Yes, listening gives you ready-to-use English. It gives you real phrases for real moments. Some people may ask, "But I want to speak. Why should I focus on listening first?"
Because good speaking grows from good listening.
Exactly. When you listen often, you collect English in your mind. You collect sounds, phrases, sentence patterns, and pronunciation. Then later, when you speak, your brain already has examples.
It is like filling a cup. If the cup is empty, nothing can come out. Listening fills the cup.
That's a great image. Yes, listening fills the cup.
And I think this is why some learners feel blocked when speaking. It is not because they are bad at English. Sometimes they simply need more input first.
That's true. Many learners are too hard on themselves. They say, "I'm not good at speaking." But maybe the real problem is, "I have not listened enough yet."
And that is good news, because listening is something you can practice every day, even alone.
Yes, you can do it at home. You can do it on the bus. You can do it with headphones. You can do it before sleep. It is simple, flexible, and powerful.
Also, when you listen, you improve your pronunciation too. Because first you hear the sound correctly, then later you can copy it better.
Yes, you cannot say a sound clearly if your ear does not know that sound well.
This is why shadowing can help too. You listen to a short sentence, then repeat it. But first, you must listen carefully.
For example, you hear, "I'm trying to improve my English every day." Then you repeat, "I'm trying to improve my English every day."
Simple, clear, useful. And when you repeat many natural sentences, your speaking becomes smoother.
I want to talk about one misunderstanding. Some people think listening is passive. They think it is not real study.
But that is not true at all. Listening can be active, smart, and very deep.
Yes, active listening means you are not just hearing sounds. You are paying attention. You are noticing words, meaning, tone, and structure.
You can ask yourself small questions while listening. What is the topic? What is the speaker's feeling? What words do I hear again and again? What sentence sounds useful for my daily life?
That is a great method. And you can also listen in layers.
What do you mean by layers?
For example, first listen just for the main idea. Second, listen for key words. Third, listen for pronunciation or expression. Fourth, repeat some sentences.
Oh, I like that. It makes listening more active and more focused.
Yes, and you do not need long content for this. Even one short audio or one short video is enough.
Especially for beginners. Short and clear content is often better than long and difficult content.
Exactly. If the content is too hard, you may feel tired and frustrated. But if the content is a little challenging and still understandable, that is a sweet spot. Let's talk about daily situations many listeners know very well.
Yes, because English learning should connect to real life.
Situation 1. You watch a movie without subtitles, and you understand almost nothing.
Yes, that happens a lot.
And many people feel disappointed. They think, "My English is so bad." But maybe the movie is too fast, too emotional, or full of slang.
That does not mean your English is bad. It may only mean that this material is too difficult for your level right now.
So, what can you do? Choose easier listening first. For example, podcasts for learners, slow English videos, interviews with clear speakers, or short daily conversations.
Situation 2. Someone speaks to you in English, and you know the answer, but your brain needs time.
Yes, that delay happens because listening and speaking need practice together. The more you listen, the faster your brain can process English.
Your mind becomes less surprised by the language. English starts to feel more normal.
Situation 3. You know many English words, but you cannot follow a real conversation.
Again, that is because words alone are not enough. You need listening experience with real speed, real voice, and real context.
Yes, language is alive. It moves. It connects. It has rhythm.
And listening helps you feel that rhythm.
Now, let's give our audience something useful. How can they build a listening habit?
Let's make it simple.
First, start small. Do not tell yourself, "I will listen for 2 hours every day." That sounds big and maybe hard to keep.
Start with 5 minutes or 10 minutes, but do it every day.
Second, choose content you enjoy. If you like stories, listen to stories. If you like self-improvement, listen to self-improvement talks. If you like food, travel, or daily life topics, choose those.
When the topic is interesting, listening feels lighter and more natural.
Third, repeat the same content. Many learners think they must always find new audio, but repetition is powerful.
Yes, when you listen to the same audio again, you hear more. You notice words you missed before. you understand better, and your confidence grows.
Fourth, use transcripts sometimes. Listen first without reading, then check the transcript, then listen again.
That method is very helpful because you train your ears first and then you confirm the details.
Fifth, speak a little after listening. You can repeat one sentence or summarize the audio in simple English. Even 1 or 2 lines is enough.
For example, this audio is about daily habits. The speaker says listening helps speaking. Simple practice, but very useful.
And sixth, be patient with yourself. Listening improvement is sometimes quiet. It grows slowly, inside your mind. One day, suddenly, you understand more than before, and you realize, oh, I'm improving.
Yes, progress is not always loud. Sometimes it is soft, but it is still real.
I think mindset is also very important. Some learners want perfect understanding too early.
And that can make them tired, because perfection is heavy.
Yes, instead of asking, did I understand everything? Maybe ask, did I understand the message? Did I learn one useful phrase? Did I practice today?
That is a healthier mindset, because language learning is a journey, not a race.
And listening teaches humility too. It teaches us to slow down, to focus, and to receive first before we respond.
I love that. Listening is not only a language skill, it is also a life skill.
Yes, when you listen well in English, you become a better learner. And when you listen well in life, you become a better person.
Because listening means giving space, giving attention, being present.
And maybe that is one reason why listening is the first key. Not only because it helps us learn language, but because it teaches us the attitude of learning. Let's give our listeners a small challenge.
Yes, something simple they can do after this episode.
For the next 7 days, listen to English for at least 10 minutes a day.
Choose easy and clear content. Do not choose content that makes you feel stressed.
And after listening, ask yourself 3 questions. What is the topic? What words or phrases did I catch? What one sentence do I want to remember?
You can even write it in a notebook, a small listening journal.
Day by day, you will build not only skill, but also awareness. And that awareness will help your English grow.
And please remember, it is okay if your progress feels slow. Slow progress is still progress.
Today we learned something simple, but very important. If you want to learn English well, start with listening. Listening helps your brain know the language. Listening helps your ears catch real speech. Listening helps your mouth speak more naturally. And listening can become part of your daily life.
You do not need to be perfect. You do not need to understand every word. You only need to keep showing up, keep listening, and keep learning.
Here is today's quote. The ear opens the door, and the mouth follows.
And here is another one. Before you speak English with confidence, listen to English with patience.
Beautiful. So, if you are still learning English, do not feel behind. Maybe your journey does not need more pressure. Maybe it needs more listening.
One audio at a time. One sentence at a time. One day at a time.
Thank you so much for listening to Mr. F Listening Podcast, a place to improve your English and also grow your self-improvement journey.
If you enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe to this YouTube channel for more interesting lessons and helpful content.
Share this episode with a friend who is learning English too.
And keep listening, keep growing, and keep believing in yourself.
See you in the next episode. Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye!